surprise. Here is your favorite French guy out here. What's up everybody, this is Gabriel Julié from France. As you can see, new setup over here. The AC, pretty nice. I hope that you like it. Now, what the hell is this all about? Like, what is that? Let me explain. So, for the longest time I've been trying to improve myself with self-improvement and other kind of things in my life, and the most problem I found was that one, either people didn't had the dimension of having it all, or the second problem that I thought is that, well, fuck, I would love to have seen the development, the changes that those people faced during their journeys, because whenever I'm watching people's content for a long time, like months or years, I can start to see the changes in their mental that they went through. And I would like to show the world, if I can help somebody, maybe, that is going through a similar journey than I am going through, and that, hey, maybe I can help out. Who knows? The thing is, it's going to be way more of, I would say, not something that's made to get views or to grow specifically. It's more something considered as a passion project. I'm going to call it a journey because it's a kind of a play on words with my name. The thing is, with that series, I plan to kind of record a little video every day of what's happening and what lessons I do document and think about during the day, or the things I learn on a daily basis. Note them down on the good old Twitter. Thanks Alex Omosi for that tip. And I'm just going to go over those things that I saw or thought about during the day, and then after that I'm going to make a little video. I think I'm going to keep the format weekly, because doing it every day plus all the other things, all the other real content that is made for growth that I'm doing, that will be pretty hectic. So I'm going to try to do that every week so you guys can see the changes. And I think that the mission with this, and it's going to be a never-changing progress, as I will be, because I'm changing every day, and so that thing will be, but the core idea with this will be to document the process of a person, a human being, trying to get it all in health, wealth, and relationship. That's the goal. Plus, as you can see in the background, I'm not an American, which changes a bit because, let's be honest, most of the time you see those Americans, and that's pretty cool. But hey, let's change it up and give some French in your life. So let's go ahead and check out the lessons I got from today and all the things that I dumped on the Twitter for today. So the first thing I saw is that you can never over communicate, and in some situations I can think it's bad. Maybe, like, for example, let's say you're in a meeting and, like, you know, you say something to a client that you're like, oops, I shouldn't have said that. Or for example, if you're with your girlfriend or somebody you're dating and you say something that's maybe a bit too rude, or maybe not the right moment to say it, if you know what I mean. And I think that sometimes it can be like a bit too direct, but most times I think people are in the other extreme. And right now I'm really in the phase of understanding the dichotomy between things. That's really a theme that you're going to see a lot right now, because I truly realize the power of understanding the two extremes and how learning to know it both, but be in the middle, is the best outcome possible. Because, for example, let's say you don't communicate at all. Worst thing ever, because people never know what you expect, you don't show values, and you actually never get what you want because you never tell it. How can you get it if you don't tell it? And I'm like, okay, let's go to the other extreme. What if I over-communicate? Everything I say, everything I think, I say it. Well, most people are going to think I'm obnoxious and I do some crazy shit, which is going to be real for some amount of things. But I think that when you then learn to, okay, now I know that I need to over-communicate and now I can dial it down a bit, then I think you get really powerful, because you don't have that, okay, filter of, okay, I'm not going to say that thing. You have nothing stopping you from saying it, but you're able to actually say the right things, if that does make sense. So that's really something, especially when you're in a company, when you're communicating the standards, communicating what you really want, and also in a relationship. I figured out that most problems are due because, hey, expectations are not set correctly between both parties, and that's true for business and relationships. So that's a little lesson from a 21 years old French guy that is right here in front of you. So that's the first thing I wrote. And then also I wrote that it's interesting how much you have to destroy your old self daily if you want to become your new self. And we call it getting out of the comfort zone, but it's giving up your old self that doesn't do those things to become the one that does. Wow. That's really an interesting turn on the concept. Most of you guys, if you're into personal development, you have heard the be, do, have. You know, like you start, and instead of doing the habits, just doing things for the sake of doing things for the results, you actually do things in order to become a type of person, a specific type of person that actually get those things done. For example, if you want to lose weight, don't focus on doing the activities that make you lose weight, or at least focus on them in order to become the person that naturally is healthy and will lose weight. And that's an interesting shift, because whenever you do that, if you do not become that kind of person, you fall back to baseline whenever something is stressful for you or the situation changes. And what is your baseline if you didn't change yourself enough? Well, it's your old self, your comfort zone. And let's stay into the losing weight example. If your comfort zone is eating cookies all the time and pizzas, well, you're going to get the weight back. And that's not something that we want. So always take things into the angle of, for me at least, what I realize is that if I every day try to destroy the old self, the part of me that I don't want, and that I focus on actually becoming the type of person I dream about, like I don't know if you can see, maybe I can show it on my home screen, but my thing is actually, maybe you guys can see it, but in the top of it says, what would GJ do? And I represent GJ as my future self. Like, I'm maybe going to talk about it later because I think that's something I wrote, but my old self, somebody that's like me in like 40, 60 years from now. And that's going back in time to talk to me about, hey Gabriel, what you should do right now. And this person only has my best interest in mind. And that's really the frame that I try to do things every day. And that really helped me out. Now, let's check out the other things. Well, I wrote a lot of things today, shit. Wow. So, let's check it out. Oh yeah, that's a big one. Happiness doesn't come from growth. And here is how. Here is why it doesn't come from growth. The problem with the fact that you need to grow in order to be happy. The problem with that way of thinking is that, and I've done that for a long time, the problem with that, and it's certainly useful in certain times when you need to change, definitely, but at some point, if you truly want to feel joy and happiness, I do think that you need to understand how to feel grateful, and that's two different things, because in my opinion, desire is something that you are like, okay, I'm not happy because I do not have that thing. So therefore, because you don't feel great right now because you don't have that thing, you are going to feel unhappy, work towards that next thing. And feeling grateful, which is the opposite, which is feeling happy for what you already have. And therefore, you feel joy. And that's totally different, because on one side you have, okay, I'm kind of satisfied with what I have and I appreciate it, and on the other side you have, okay, I'm not happy with what I have and I need to get the next thing to be happy. And that's really two different frames, and it's really interesting how those two works. But if we stay into the desire part, if you go and desire something that you do not have right now, and that you're like, fuck man, I'm going to be unhappy until I get it. The thing is, if you do that with constant, like again and again and again, if you keep doing that, the problem with it is that you are you are filling up a hole by digging another hole next to it, if that makes sense. So what I advise to do is actually to make sure that you understand, okay, I'm not going to another extreme in order to fill up something else. If that's definitely something that you don't feel happy about and you really want to improve your life, by all means go do it. And sometimes you gotta use the fuel that you have, and if the fuel is rage and darkness, use it. The thing is, make sure that if your goal is to feel joy, you do not equal growth with joy. When growth comes from the part of, okay, I decided to get something else, because you're not going to get it from that place, if that does make sense. Now, next little thing of the day that I saw, that I thought about. Oh, the tips and easy fixes are more sellable. However, 99% of the time people need deep mindset shifts, which are not as sexy. Send them what they want and give them what they need. That's really important. As I told you before that, the biggest changes that I had in my life were when I changed my identity. Meaning that I wasn't trying to do a tip, or I wasn't trying to do a hack. I really changed the personality and myself, improved, leveled up into that environment, whether it was business, relationship, or whatever it is, health. The thing is, I truly realized how much it was important to not focus on the hack, but focus on the mindset shift. But the problem is that if you want to help people to improve, for example, I'm doing a weight loss thing right now with somebody I know. You're going to get updated on that really soon, but that we are doing that thing together, a weight loss program that we sell to people. And one of the things that we have to make sure people understand is that, okay, you sell them what they want, meaning they want a quick 5 minute ab workout and like get jacked in like 2 weeks. Yes, you can sell them that. The thing is that what's really going to get them there is to change mentally, but you cannot sell them directly the change your mindset thing, because it seems too hard. So in the beginning you should get them, and that's kind of to join like marketing and mindset. It works with yourself and with marketing as well, but you have to join the two things together, meaning that you have to have that thing that gets them into the program, sell them what they want, and then in there, while giving them what they want, to also give them what they need, which is a true mindset shift, so they can truly see results for themselves. Test processes and keep what works for you. For example, right now, one of the things that I like to do, or one of the things that I do to learn the most and the fastest, is actually to teach people and to verbalize things. Because some people like to journal things. I tried it out and it's cool, but I prefer like talking to a camera, ideally talking and bouncing ideas with people. That's the best way for me to understand concepts and really deconstruct things and understand them well. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing this as well, so I can actually benefit and do that learning into a next level. Because when you actually learn something or try to articulate something to teach it to somebody else, you understand it into a way deeper level than if you just like read it and understood it. And I think that's actually one of the things that I talked about in the next a bit further during today's threads. Now, also funny how dating is like marketing and sales. Learn how to use scarcity and urgency, supply and demand. It's all nuances, and you will learn to master both games. And that's kind of funny because I would say, if you like deconstruct myself, in the past I was kind of the nice guy. The guy was like really nice with girls because I was really needy and I didn't have a lot of confidence in myself. So that was really a big characteristic of mine. I still struggle a bit with that, even though I grown up and I got more confident and yeah, I became better. The thing is, I still have some of those tendencies, which bothers me a lot. And one of the things that I saw is that I was with the person I like, especially right now, I'm like all the time like responding extremely fast and all those things, and I saw that attraction and like that investment back and forth kind of went down a bit. And I see those things and I'm like, fuck, like what's happening? And then I remembered, man, it's all like business, supply and demand. Like if you have something that is in high supply, in high demand, scarcity and urgency, which are two ways to play on that, well, it all of a sudden makes that resources more precious and all that. So I felt like, how can I create that scarcity in some ways? And one of the ways, simple things that I did is like, hey, like do not respond to messages like fast. Keep some time because I'm a high value man. I actually do other stuff during the day, so this is not the priority. I'm working on my things, and people respect that. They respect that urgency and scarcity, like all those things, and you have other ways to play on that. But that's just an example of how things are. Like life is like there are principles that can apply to so many things, and oftentimes we think like, oh, I got to learn something new because it's business and now not relationship or something else. But most times those are just basic principles that you got to apply to all your life, and you need to get reminded more than you need to be taught. Interesting. Now, oh, that was a funny one that happened today. Well, as some of you may know, I'm helping my parents like working in the fields, and I went to the fields and I see a guy that, well, shouldn't be there, and I was like, default, okay, I'm gonna kick this guy's ass, I'm going to put him to the ground and freaking destroy his ass because, well, he's like probably stealing some stuffs. And my father called me, so that actually, well, I was like, yeah, this guy is good, like I authorized him to do that. I was like, okay, no problem. But it reminded me of something that, well, being default aggressive is a really important skill. Of course, if you, like, I think everybody can understand that it's maybe not a good idea to freaking punch everybody in the face whenever they threaten you, to a small level at least. But if you have that default aggressiveness, it's easier to call it when you need it rather than not having it and trying to call it whenever you don't have it. And I think a better way to put it is when you look at the proverb, the quote, which is, hey, it's better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener at war. Because, well, it kind of makes sense. Whenever you are able to call that aggressiveness when it's needed, but you just are able to control it, I think it's a way better position to be in. Whether you are into daily life situations or whether you're into business, whenever you need to call that aggressiveness, that action that gets done, if you have it in you and you just learn to keep calm, but you're able to direct it, I think it's a really powerful frame. Then, little perpetual self-assessment method. And that works for everything in my life, so here it is. Number one, what beliefs are limiting me? What are the things that are limiting myself as beliefs? Number two, what skills do I lack? What do I not know how to do? What am I not competent at? And number three is, what character traits am I lacking? So do I believe certain things that are preventing me to actually get this thing done? Or I believe that I can never stick to a diet, therefore I'm not going to eat the food. Or maybe I do like the skill of working out. I do not know how to work out or how to prepare certain foods, how to cook. Or maybe I do not have the character traits of focus and actually staying focused on something that I know I need to do in order to achieve that goal. Discipline as a character trait as well. All those things. And those are basically the ladders, the little like steps. See character traits and beliefs and the skills up there. But if you have one that it's not construct, for example, let's say you have those values, those character traits that are not built up, but you have the skills and the beliefs, well, you cannot climb that ladder to get to the next level. And so that's one thing that I'm always asking myself in all the areas of my life is, what is the thing that I'm lacking? Is it a skill, belief, a value, another value, character trait? What is it? And I'm always asking myself that. Thanks, Alex, for this little tip. I appreciate it. Now, other little tip. Ooh, that's a good one for all your marketers out there. Content framing that makes a difference. Can I as a viewer, feel like I'm watching my future self giving me clarity on what I am facing now in a particular subject. That's a really powerful frame, because what I feel like is that some of the big influencers, like you take Gary V, Grant, Alex, most guys like that, which are guys that I watch a lot, and you see people calling them like GOAT, Uncle Gary, like Uncle Alex, Uncle Grant, like things like that, because people perceive them as like bigger brothers, grandpas, dads, things like some weird shit like that. But when you think about it, it's like, oh, they consider those people as kind of like their mentors, their future, like kind of a bigger authority that they are authorizing to, that they are listening to actually get advices from. And I think that's really interesting, because when you're able to position yourself as that, and it's not to manipulate people, I know, it's more to actually serve them the best and actually have the most impact as possible. If you're able to position yourself as a person that really is, okay, I'm Grandpa Gab, and I really want to help you out with this thing that I learned, that I experienced, and I only have your best interest in hand. And if you can make them feel that way, I think that is a really powerful frame that can actually make them connect with you a lot more. How 98% of people are self-destroying instead of self-improving. That's a big one. Because as I talked about previously, some people go... No, it's not the one I don't want to talk about, because I kind of talk about it. Doing shit you hate is actually good for you, man. And I hate to break it to you, but that's the truth. Sometimes you just have to do the work. Do the boring work, because that's the only answer most of the times. You look at all like the most successful people, and let me guarantee you something. They didn't do things they liked all the damn time. Fire some employees, grow the company, somebody swing you for 50 million. Fuck. You do not like those things happening to you on the daily life, on a daily basics. Now, well, Gabriel, why should I be doing those things in the first place if I do not enjoy them? Should you be enjoying things to actually do them? Well, that's a whole other topic and a way more philosophical question I'm actually trying to answer. But the thing is, learn to do things you do not like so you can become a person. I think it's the right way to put it is actually so you can become the person that you like. Instead of just doing things that you like, I think things that you are doing, activities like that, are all temporary. You're only working for so many hours, you're only working out for so many hours, you're only doing things you like for such an amount of time. But you are with yourself 24/7. And I think that if you are able to feel peace, if that's your thing, joy, if that's your thing, meaning, if that's your thing, I think that if you are able to do that and truly come to terms with, in alignment with what you do, with what you want to do, what your purpose is, I think that then you become really powerful and actually, in my opinion, find a real meaning to life. That's my opinion. Now, best way to capture content ideas. Extremely easy, my friends. You post them on Twitter, right here. Thanks, Alex, again for this tip. Because hey, like whenever I do have a thought that is going through my head, and I'm like, oh, I need to capture this, I post it to Twitter. That's content. Then I just can screenshot it, put it as a quote. I can talk about it right here, longer format. So I can then do it in a shorter format that you are maybe watching this right now at. So you have a lot of possibilities. So one of the best ways to capture content, put it on Twitter, post it, and then you can actually also test what is working or not. You can see pieces of content that people like or not before you actually post them and produce them. Pretty smart. Now, also, the last one for the day. Staying busy. Staying busy. Staying busy is like, one of the things that I saw today is that, well, if you do not stay busy, you are sure that you will not get whatever you want. But if you do stay busy, you are not assured 100% of the time that you will actually get whatever you want, but you have more chances to actually get it rather than if you do nothing. So I would advise you, if you want to get certain things, if you have a desire to get certain things that you don't have, well, maybe you should stay busy into doing the activities that matter. Now, important little twist on it. It's not about staying busy doing some things on the PC, like, and not doing shit that matters. It's about really identifying, okay, what are the 2 to 3 things I need to do today that really matters and that will move the needle. And not a lot. Don't overcomplicate it. And oftentimes those things are simple, but not easy. Meaning that they're not complicated, complex, they do not require you to have a master in science, but you do not like to do them. So you do find other things to do, but they're not meaningful. So stay busy on the things that matters and actually give results. So that was day 1 on doing this journey thing. I do not know how this format is going to end up, but I do know that, well, this is something I want to keep up, because I truly believe that if I am able to document the journey of me going through, like, from the place where I'm at right now to a better place, to actually getting things that I do not have at this moment and document the journey, maybe you guys can see the mental shifts and the things that I do on a daily basis, and I think that can be useful for you. So if you do appreciate it, well, I'm glad that you do, and yeah, please send a like, please share that with somebody that you would like them to see that piece of content, and I see you on the next day.